So last week I said I would make a video about why I felt that the Dallas Cowboys were my most hated team in professional sports, and especially the National Football League. And I thought I would explain this right now because I had time to do so. So, my hatred towards the Dallas Cowboys goes all the way back to when I first became a fan of the NFL, back in the 90s. Now, you could say that while the Philadelphia Eagles were a decent team in the 90s, bordering on good, they weren't championship caliber. And the one team in the NFL during that time that was just force-fed down everyone's throat was the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys were the three-time Super Bowl champions. The Dallas Cowboys were the dynasty. The Dallas Cowboys had all the power in play because they had the Super Bowls, because they had the championships. And every single time you tried to claim that your team was better, 5 Super Bowl championships. That crutch always poked its ugly head out. No matter how bad the Dallas Cowboys were, they were always given this special treatment in the league. They would always get the primetime games, even if they sucked. The media would always talk about them, even if they sucked, more than teams that deserved more of the spotlight. I lived in New Jersey. The Pop Warner team in my city was the Cowboys. The Cowboys were the most popular team in the NFL. You were cool if you were a Cowboys fan. That's why you have a lot of Cowboys fans from parts of the United States that have zero connection with the state of Texas or the city of Dallas or the area Dallas-Fort Worth. That's why you have so many people who were fans of the team, because they were America's team. I guess you could say that there was a jealousy involved. There might have been. I really don't know. But I always didn't like that fact, America's team, because the thing is that Texas is always talking about seceding. I didn't feel like they should have been allowed to be called America's team, especially because the United States everything was signed in Philadelphia. I guess you could say that pissed me off. You could say that Dallas fans were the antithesis, were the complete opposite of Eagles fans. Eagles fans were people who showed up to games in 20-degree freezing weather with their shirts off, and Dallas Cowboys looked like they were going to a hoedown or a rodeo. They were just very different. They're very different types of people. And I didn't really hate them because of that. They always say that Eagles fans did cheer when Michael Irvin got injured. I felt like the Dallas Cowboys, especially their players, got away with murder. I mean, if you read books about stuff that those players did, like that stuff would not fly. That whole White House stuff, that would not fly today. But I remember watching an Eagles-Cowboys game at a friend's house, and, he wasn't really a fan of the Cowboys, but he had a bunch of family members over, and they were, and the Eagles were playing the Cowboys, and the Eagles were up 20-7, and then Drew Bledsoe threw a touchdown to Terry Glenn, R.I.P., and then Donovan McNabb threw a pick-6, and I remember the pick-6, and then Donovan McNabb got knocked over, and he got injured for the rest of the season. That was the straw that broke the camel's back, quite literally, with his sports hernia. And I remember, they were celebrating, the family members were celebrating the Cowboys scoring a touchdown, but there was a lot of, yeah, Donovan McNabb got injured, I hate that guy sucks. And it was I thought you guys were supposed to be classy. At this point in time, I hate the Dallas Cowboys, but I don't really have a reason to hate the Dallas Cowboys anymore. Maybe a lot of it stems from the fact that, when I joined YouTube, there was a lot of Cowboys fans on YouTube, and they would make a lot of crutches about how you weren't allowed to talk unless you had a Super Bowl ring and stuff like that. I guess I hated the Cowboys a lot because of that too. But I don't really have a reason to hate the Dallas Cowboys. In a way, I kind of feel bad for the fans. Not necessarily because I think that they deserve to be felt sorry for. I mean, you guys have 5 Super Bowls, let's be honest. I really don't care if you weren't alive for them. The fans in your fan base use that as a crutch all the time. But I do feel bad that their team is being run by a geriatric dude who doesn't know what he's doing, who thinks that the NFL is way back in the 1960s, where the owner is the head coach and the GM, and he owns everything, and he's unable to delegate anything. But that's a topic for a different video. But for all the reasons why I stated right there, the Dallas Cowboys are my most hated football team, my most hated sports franchise. And every time the Dallas Cowboys play, it's really funny because my fiance, she's a Cowboys fan. It really, and I have to like add this in because she is very competitive. She's way more competitive than me. The first time we watched an Eagles-Cowboys game together, she would not talk to me while the Cowboys were losing. And I actually told her by the end of the game the Cowboys are probably going to win this game in overtime because that's just how the ball floated for the Eagles that year. But she's just like, get away from me, sit at that table. She like has to pace around a lot. She does a lot of superstitious things, like she puts on different t-shirts. When they're losing, if we go to a bar, she brings multiple outfits so that she can change. It really is funny, but like I always inside, like in my heart, I'm always like rooting against the Dallas Cowboys because I hate them. But in my brain, I know like if the Dallas Cowboys lose, then she's gonna be really upset. So I try my best to be as unbiased as possible, but the Dallas Cowboys are my most hated football franchise. I hate them the most. If you have, and if you want to make this like a video response trend, if you have a least favorite football team or a least favorite sports franchise, leave it as like a video response. I don't know. Seems to be something that would be fun during the off season just to talk about. And that's all I have. It's PR. Peace. I'm out. Have a nice day. Peace!